Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is the 5 crucial survival tips for the INFP. Now, I didn't really want to do this video. I felt like I wasn't really ready to do this video because I kind of feel that I'm not at a place in my life where I can really dish out advice. But my partner James reminded me of something really important, and that is everyone goes through stuff all the time. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're an ESTJ or an INTJ or an INFP. You're going to go through challenges, and especially as an INFP, you're going to feel a little bit hard on yourself, especially you're going to be a bit more self-critical than probably some other types of personalities. So it's important that I remember that my experiences, especially as a person who has been through homelessness, who has looked after children, who has changed career paths, who has studied at multiple different institutions, who's worked at many different places, who has been through different relationships, etc., etc. I probably can offer some of my experiences, and I think I do have some survival tips that I would like to share with you today. So why do INFPs need survival tips? Well, really, it has a simple explanation. As an INFP myself, I've had tendencies to kind of wander a little bit. There has been a lot of points in my life where I feel that I've lost direction, or I've been too hard on myself. I found it very difficult to be able to kind of speak up in public situations, especially when I feel my toes would be stepped on. So there is issues of conflict there. There are many things that I feel that if the INFP kind of builds strength in certain areas, we're going to grow a lot and find that balance, become really healthy people. So the first one on my list, and this one has kind of been requested from my 2018 INFP careers guide, and that is finding your purpose, finding your calling. Now, if you're an INFP, you probably know what it's like to feel like having a purpose in life or wanting to have a purpose in life. We are the types of people who feel that we are put on this planet to do something great. Now, we don't know what that greatness is a lot of the time. It's kind of like this weird conundrum. We feel like we can do something great and we want to be able to have the opportunity to do that, but we just don't know what that is yet. Unless you're one of those lucky people who just know from the moment you're born. But like a lot of us, we kind of have to battle our way to find our purpose. And if you don't find your purpose, or you feel like you're not on the right track, it can be really disheartening, and I think it can kind of lead us into a depression when we feel that we are not on the right track to achieving our purpose, to achieving our life's calling. So that's why I kind of decided that we're not born with purpose. Sometimes purpose needs to be manifested through climbing mountains, sailing seas, exploring deserts, and examining stars. And what that basically means is that, you're going to battle your way through life, trying to find that one thing that ignites the fire within yourself. Now, I can't tell you how to find your purpose because I don't know you personally. I don't know what your talents are. I don't know what your childhood was like. I don't know where you're going to be headed in the future. But what I can tell you is to make as many mistakes as you can. Experience a whole lot in life. Go traveling, study philosophy, help the homeless, go and volunteer at your local rest home. You're going to have certain experiences that will add to who you are, and you're going to learn a lot about yourself through getting out there and really doing things with yourself. While it's great to be able to step out of your comfort zone and experience a whole lot of things, it is also important that you can remain realistic about things. I kind of feel like I had to go through all my experiences in order to find what I really want to do now. And for me to exercise my 2 bottom functions, which are to do with goal setting and really sticking at things, I feel that I'm in a much better position to be successful with my true calling today. It is so important that you can continue nurturing the one thing that you've chosen to do and to really stick at it, to set goals for yourself and to really work at your calling every single day. If you feel like you're really stuck, like I've at times felt like I'm really, really stuck, just keep pushing forward. Even if you can only do a little bit here and there, or you have to take a break, don't lose that belief in yourself. Moving on. The next one is when we get our values trodden all over. Now, 2 things here. Firstly, put your hand up if you've experienced anyone coming into your buzz and telling you what you value, what your morals are, or your beliefs are wrong. And tell me that does not feel good at all. And secondly, put your hand up if you've struggled to really stand your ground with it in a verbal manner and kind of just let it slide a little bit. Because that's what I've done multiple times in my life. In fact, I can't even count the amount of times that has happened. It is a really normal thing for an INFP to face that kind of challenge, because with our primary function introverted feeling, an internal cognitive process where we internalize the world around us and base it on our value system. And we go into a defensive mode where we're kind of like a fire-breathing dragon protecting its treasure. Now that was a little Easter egg to one of my very first videos. As a result, because our value systems do get trodden on, we as INFPs have quite a hard time being able to verbalize what we don't like about the situation, or what we would like to say back in a really calm manner, if you will. It's about being able to respond with not engaging so much with introverted feeling and being able to tap into our bottom cognitive functions. Again, the theme is to balance everything out so that we become well-rounded people. Now, over time, I feel that I have gotten better at speaking, and I think a lot of that is due to having my channel, and I feel that I've gotten better at speaking over time and being able to speak from my heart. And I think this is one area INFPs don't go wrong, is that we do speak from our hearts. We speak very authentically, and that is such a positive trait to have. If you can take that aspect into times of conflict, then you are well on the right track to being able to speak your truth and being able to have the other person listen to what you have to say. Communication is one of the main things that hold relationships together, which also helps to build on relationships. So when you're able to communicate more and to let people know your authenticity without overreacting, then you're going to better build your relationship with this other person. Now, this could be in matters of school or work or in your home life. Just remember that this other person needs to hear what you have to say, and it doesn't matter if they don't like it. They do need to understand what is going on inside of you. And you know, when everything is resolved, you will both be able to get to the next phase of your relationship and be able to build a strong foundation, which is a really important place to be when you are building relationships within your primary and secondary sectors. Now, if you're anything like me, I lose my marbles when it comes to things that happen in my life that aren't so great. When my life comes crashing down, I feel like I don't handle it very well. And I don't know whether this is because I am too hard on myself. And this leads me to the next point, which is, what if everything comes crashing down? We all get to points in our life where everything comes crashing down. we feel stuck, we feel helpless, we feel hopeless, we feel depressed, we feel anxious, and everything just gets worse, and we feel like there is no way out. And I think especially INFPs are prone to falling into these traps because we are such feely kinds of people, and we feel other people's emotions. We're very receptive to things going on around us, and a lot of us tend to be highly sensitive people. So this, I think, is quite a common challenge. As I stated in the beginning, I do have a mental illness, and when things happen in my life that shake me up, I kind of tend to fall down really hard. Lately, I have been dealing with insomnia, and it has been so difficult because I've had periods of whole 24 hours where I haven't slept, and it just makes the next night more difficult because I'm freaking out going, if I can't sleep, then the next night's going to be so hard, the next day is going to be so hard. So it's kind of this cycle, and having postpartum depression in general makes it difficult at times to be able to function properly. However, there is one thing about me which I am really proud of. I seek support. I look towards my family and I look towards my community to help me get better. I know in myself that I am very capable of being able to pull myself out of sticky situations, and I am fully aware that by doing so, I become stronger each time. Now, I often think about the Saiyans in Dragon Ball Z. Now, when they're defeated in battle, they come back stronger, and I kind of feel that it's the same with me. I always look to Goku for inspiration. If you know me, you know that's what I do. So that's why I know that when I do go through challenging situations, especially when I was homeless and all that kind of stuff, I feel that I got so much stronger from going through that. I've learned a great deal about myself, and I've learned a great deal about my resilience. And this is something that you should do too. Realize that you are so strong. Realize that once you fall down and you get yourself back up again, that next time when the same thing happens again, you have the tools equipped within yourself to be able to deal with it. When things do come to a crashing halt, or we're experiencing a breakup or something really negative, a lot of the time that means life is leading us on a new path. Something better is in store for you right around the corner. Now for my second to last one, that is dealing with the mundane. Man, if it was up to me, I'd be exactly like Tolkien. However, like everyone on this planet, we have to deal with the mundane, which means we have to go to work or go to school, deal with responsibilities, talk on the phone. There is nothing worse than talking on the phone. But alas, the mundane is necessary, because the mundane is reality. It is what's real, and as people, we do need to be part of reality. If we want to eat and have a roof over our heads, we do need to be part of reality. Again, it is about strengthening our weaknesses in order to become balanced. I know how difficult it can be to wake up at 6 a.m. and know that you have to go to work or to school, where you just kind of feel like all you want to do is to just lay in bed all day and watch Netflix. But as challenging as it is for me to face a lot of these reality-based things, I know that it's going to help me become a better person, for one, but to also help me achieve the larger goals in life, to be able to strengthen the bottom two functions and to be able to take phone calls. I know that it's going to help me achieve a larger purpose. And that is what, as INFPs, we can think of as we are doing the grind, as we have to wake up at 6 a.m., going to work and going to school, knowing that by doing that, it is going to help us achieve our higher purpose. We need to go to work to pay our bills. And we also go to work to be able to save money. And to save money, that means we will be able to go on that overseas trip that we've always wanted to go on, or to be able to pay for recording time at a studio so that we can finally get our song out. Now for the last one, and that is, we want to be alone, but we don't like being lonely. Now this somewhat relates to my last video, which is about INFPs and loneliness and why we are prone to feeling lonely, which you can see on the screen here. INFPs are caught in a conundrum where we value our authentic self so much, and we value our time so much, and we want to be able to relate to others and to have others relate to us and to embrace all of us and for us to embrace all of them, that we often find ourselves feeling lonely, and we often find ourselves feeling that we have a lack of friendships and that we have a lot of trouble in romantic relationships. We value deep and meaningful connections so much that we often feel that it's so hard to be able to connect and relate to a lot of people around us, especially if they don't really get you. Now, there are two things about this that I would like to talk about. And the first one is practice self-love. Practice being so comfortable with yourself that you don't need anyone in your life to fill any kind of void. And this is especially true with romantic relationships. You know, oftentimes people feel that they're incomplete and they need someone else to be able to fill a void, fill part of their hearts that they feel that they're missing. And they're often going out and trying to date, or being on Tinder, or, you know, being on Facebook, trying to find that one person that will be able to fill that void. And a lot of the time the relationship ends up crashing down because of missed expectations, or they weren't the right person. And the INFP often feels at such a loss because we are the types of people who, when we begin to trust people, we wear our hearts on our sleeves, and we are very prone to feeling so hurt when it comes to rejection. To be able to love ourselves first and foremost, and I know that sounds so cliche, but it's so true, to feel that we don't actually need anyone, that we are okay with ourselves, that will then open the doors up to allowing someone in, but also knowing that if they were to leave, you would be okay because you have yourself. Remember that the wrong people will walk away and the right people will come into our lives. And that might take a year or 10 years, but it will happen. But there is one other thing that I would like you to know, and that is be a little bit open-minded. Sometimes we might judge people at face value thinking, oh, you know, they're not really a deep kind of person, or they don't like the same kinds of things as me, and maybe I won't be able to relate to them and we won't have that deep connection. But I'm telling you, if you open your mind and step outside of your front door, you'll be surprised who you run into. Getting to know your neighbor, or that kid in your class that's really quiet, or that person at your work that kind of seems a little bit standoffish, or they're a little bit too bubbly, you know, maybe they actually might be a kind of person that you could have a really good conversation with. They might end up being your girlfriend if you really give it a good shot. The cool thing about social media is that friendships are right there at our fingertips. We can search through INFP groups or search through YouTube and find really like-minded people. But there is something so authentic and simple about being able to step outside of our front doors and to volunteer at places, and for us to really be able to meet people and have real conversations with people. You know, that's how I met James. I met him through taking a risk. I met him through when I was at my absolute rock bottom, taking a job that I wasn't really good at in landscaping, and meeting him through real life by taking a chance and by stepping outside of my door. So yeah, that basically wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you really got something out of it. So I guess I'll see you guys all again next time for another video. But for now, I hope you have a really good day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you all again next time. Bye. I'm counting down the days where I will be filming at night again, and I'm kind of looking forward to them because, yeah, I just am.